Hi, in this video I will show you all my Simply add-ons and how to work with them, the base form from it, so I don't go that much deeply. You just see the workflow, what I do, and I give a bit of comment here. And what the reason was I developed them, and then you will understand how they work together. So just let's start and don't talk too much. If we have a character, I give him collision, and now I can start making clothes. So I put it a bit behind, so behind the x-axis. I go in the design part, design cut and swing pattern, and now I can start creating interesting forms. So I just click once, hit E for extrude the vertex point, and hit again. And for all who watch my videos, I use the regular right click select workflow what Blender delivers long time ago. Just let's do something like that. Now we have created the base pattern here. I hit here this button make curves, and again I select with right click, so nobody is confused if he is using left click. I can't guarantee anything, so this is the part what I can say. And now we have created the main pattern, which is mirrored here. I have the resolution of 21. I can make a unitard one here, so it will directly create the same pattern in the backside and make the swings. And this is what I want here. I hit this button, we see something like that. I go in edit mode and select with L on the keyboard, or L only, the parts which should be removed. So all the holes like this, and that's it. I hit unitard 2 and that's it. I can start with the clothing part. I convert it to simply clothes and start, and we see how the clothes is wrapping around the body. If it's too low, we can go in edit mode, scale it a bit up, and scale it in the y-axis so it is a bit more fit to the body, and start again. And that's it. So I created the first clothing pattern here. If the shrink here is too much, so I make a bit smaller, you can turn it in negative, you see, or to 0. It's the main part. And that's what the add-on was created for. Create a clothing fast. So the first way was model it in quad. I show you too. So, but here first I want to fix some issues, or I just go to extras directly, and I want to have this part should be pinned or shrinked inside the body, inside the simulation. Vertex shrink, and you see what we created here very fast. So if we want the same in the front side, I select somewhere here, not perfect, and again hit shrink button, and that's it. So you see the main of it, how fast I can create clothing. So I have something like that. Now I can give him a belt and make some other stuff. So you will see some points will not work directly because of not updated version here. So we have it here, merge distance not working, but don't worry about this. We can select all the swings, like in the swing part, pop, and select swings, or here they are. And sometimes if you have issues, you can go to Simply Weld, assign it manually. It's not that a big deal, so you can merge it here. And it will be merged, but you will see the how it called the swing gap anyway. So sometimes it's great, sometimes you don't need it. Sometimes you need to adjust some of the modifiers. So in this case will be the edge split. If you turn off, you see it is going like that. But here we have anyway the swing line because of it's marked as sharp. But for now it's okay. I'm happy with it. And I go to finish it, apply, and that's it. Now I have the possibilities to add more details, make triangulations and subdivide it in a very basic way, like this, and go afterwards to the sculpt mode. But here with this pattern, I do not recommend to make the work behind here. So if you turn it here, sculpt mode, it's too low res, you know. So it's anytime better if you have quad base meshed and quad base meshed topology, and do it subdivide sometimes, and then you have more details you can work with. So that's the point here. And see how it works, too low res. But don't worry about this. This is the main idea of the add-on. So we can go into enhance mode, and now we can give it more detail. See a little bit of sharpness. And from here you can do whatever you want. You can make quad remesh, you can make whatever you want. So if I apply all the without the solidify, I apply all the modifier and make like a remesh here. Few seconds, and now we have a remeshed object. Perhaps this is now turned off because I don't close it that correct. But here you go, you have created very fast clothing. And this is very nice. So that's for Simply Clothes Studio. Then you have micromesh. It's a very important part. If we have micromesh and you want to add some details, like for something like that, yeah. It's not perfect, so I can hide this. This is okay, and then you have a night or something else. You go to this, you can apply, solidify, we don't know, we don't need it at the moment. Let it be like it is. We add micromesh, set up the user interface, and play with scaling. That's it. So this is the main idea to make micro objects to a guide mesh. And from here, you can work however you want. So if you have asset browser added here, you have, I don't add them here. So if we select a different from the stitches library, something like that. So I drag and drop it to the scene. It was the bold. I can add the bold too. And then you see it's not corrected here in the axis. You can turn it on, and there you go. I can play with the scaling, of course. You can make maximum. You can adjust the source mesh just by hitting subdivide or else, and then again play with the scaling. You can randomize it if you want. You can randomize the direction and some other small stuff. Shade it smooth and make it on faces only, on corners, vertices or edges. So you have full control here. You see the difference? So if we have it like on edges like this, you get this pattern. So like this pattern. If you have it on vertex point, vertices, you will see this. Corners the same and faces. So in this part will be this the best. Or we just select again our our main chain. Now we have it a bit smaller. You see it here, edges. And I think edges will be the best here. And we want to hide the source mesh. And here you go. So you can see through. Sometimes it's needed for renderings. That's simply micromesh. Very easy and very handy to work with. So if I go to unsubdivide, you will notice these effects. Yeah? It's all very easy. Based on this guide mesh. this is for micro mesh. So now, a very interesting add-on. It's easy and very cool. It's simply a concept. So I start with adding an main object like this. So I put it here, go to edit mode and put it here, like here. Perhaps I want to make something like an armor. I hit simply concepted, and then you see we have a very strange looking object now, but don't worry about this. We play with the voxel size here, so we can create very fast concepts. So if I'm working very base and I want to be fast, so let's turn this off. Something like that. And from here I can work. Extrude something. And what the cool stuff here is we just hit mirror modifier. Hello. Scale on Z axis. Oh. And here you see how you're working with this. You can create very fast, interesting patterns. Hello. You can add different types. To have a smoothing out workflow, smoothing out a mesh like here. And I want a transition here. So I just scale it here. And I can create very nice stuff here. Just duplicate. You see how it is welding together. Yeah. And if I turn on the projection on the body here, hello, face project. Yes, it's not wanting to do what I want. So sometimes you have interesting patterns like this, and here you go. You can very fast concepting it. And of course you can bool here too, but I don't want it at the moment here. So if I select now this part, I extrude this. And if I like the base concept of it, I can play with the voxel size to get more details, slowly to the lower resolution. This part I don't like. Try something like that. And this I don't like too. And here we should have like a second cube. So because of the voxel size we turned down, we get some performance issues sometimes. So be aware of it. Yeah, it's very important to understand how this works. Yes, now we have created very fast a backpack. How it called backpack, armor. Look at these shapes, it's very nice. Here I want to make it this. Just look how fast we were. I'll let it like here, and in the center we make something like that. There should be a sphere. So the scaling is a bit too high here sometimes. Just imagine to make this in default modeling way. You will notice it could break you. So at the shoulders. And here you go. You can make interesting stuff. What I don't like is this part. Just imagine to make it in modular array. So if you're happy with it, just finish the concept and here you go. Now you can make quadriflow remesh, just the base of Blender remesher. You see it is very low res, but it's okay. So you can make use this for games. Just hit a subdivide modifier or whatever you like. So this is the part. So I like to use the quad remesher. So let's see what he creates. It's a bit slower because of the difficulty of the object. But look the results. It's epic. So now we have the Simply concept here. The wrap add-on is very nice. So if I put this up first, and then I just want to wrap around this object, I make sure I don't have any other objects here. There we have. Put it here, let's put it here, all the workflow stuff. And here we start. We select our character, for example, here. And then we cannot start. Yes, because of some issues. Character. Now, I had a collision modifier from Simply Close Studio on it, and it will be twice. So that's why the issue was appeared. But now it's gone and we can start with. So I go in front view, for example, and just start wrapping around this object. I hit this button and let's start here. I start here and you see what is this? The performance is very bad. Why is this? This is because of the high resolution object here. Perhaps we don't need all. I can cut out not needed parts, but easily I go to this performance section and turn down. You see we have 21,000 of face count, and now we go something around like this, just for now. And now we start wrapping, and you see how fast it is, yeah? Okay, let's do an interesting wrap. I just click, release, hold, click, draw, and make stuff like that. Over here, and the last will be on the other side. Now I hold Control and scroll the mouse wheel up, so we have a bit more of resolution. Hit Enter and go with the mouse just by sliding it to the right without clicking. For the size, I click and go to the left now. So this is the shrink wrap offset here. If I hit O, you see, it will using my drawing. If I hit O again, it will use now the shrink wrap distance. And I click and we see what is going on. What is this? It's so low res. The distance are not correct. The decimate is making it ugly. So don't worry about this. You just need to understand how this all works. So if we have this object, yes, we have the object collision. We can play with the thickness outer, a thickness inner. We go to the wrap itself and see the distance 0.05, and now I turn it much more down and you see what's happening here. If I don't need the gravity stuff, where it was up there, gravity turned off, and we see what we can achieve here. So if you don't like the shrink stuff, just remove it. We let it like this. You see what's happening? but now I can slowly turn it up till my needs, like this. This is great. And then play with the thickness if needed. If you want to have like ropes, but I want to have like a wrap, then I can play with the width. So this should be like this width. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Less of this here, and that's it. I apply the wrap, and now I can shorten the endings. These parts here, these parts. I slowly slide. So if you notice, I make the one in one side and the other in the other side. If I'm shorting, they get to this part, and now I can bridge edge loops and play with the profile factor or the smoothness. You see, and that's it. Now we have created very fast the base of it. I turn back our armory, and so I can design stuff inside of Blender with my Simply Addons. Very easy and very fast. So if you understand the workflow, yeah, something like that is interesting. Then you have the pants, and we go over to the next Simply Render Flow. This I not show because I don't prepare it correctly. So if you have all these objects, yeah, and you want to have them in, how it called, you want to make concepts of it, or concepts of, how it called, materials, you can use it to batch render these things out and get it all. So we can select all objects, make a collection of it, add a camera to it, and you just hit render flow, select all the needed stuff, like image to assets, or afterwards you create assets for the asset browser, like here. So I have this space meshes, I make it with render flow, I selected all my objects, and don't need to unhide, render, save the image. And what else? Simply fast materials. Here you see the best part of it. I had a scene with all materials and with a few objects, like these objects, and with the cloth. And I just hit render for one object. For one object, I selected this and make material render flow. And it took all materials which I added as marked as asset. Like if you have this mail material, I hit right click mark as asset. It will appear in this current file. You see, hey, where it is? Mark as asset, there it is. It will create it and automatically render. There it is. And I don't like this. So I create an object. It was this object here by Fargus Design. I select it, hit render flow, and I got all these thumbnail images directly in my folder, which I selected here, and I could adjust them here to the preview, and that's it. So very, very nice tool. But just I will put the video from render flow here, so you can see this part in a different video. So now we go to Simply Material, and this is very nice. So, for example, I want to have here like Smart UV unwrap, and I think here we have already the UVs. Yes, all great. So if you go to the render view, and I want to have this scene world, we notice nothing, no images, no texturing, nothing. So I make it bigger here, so you can see the difference. And Simply Material is for objects like clothing and fashion design. And let's start. I rename it to pen, so it will be a shorter name, and I create Simply Material. And what you notice directly here, we have directly a nice material. What we can change here. we have the base, micro, and overlay, and additional section here. We select textures to add here. So, and you're starting with the starter package, like here. We can select different textures, very easy, very fast, of course. It works very nice, yeah, and it's seamless, and you have more than 800 textures, and an extension pack is already for all pro users available. So you can see what is going on here, how nice it is. So I select this pattern. I can play with the scale. I want to leave it like this. And I don't see that much. So I need to decolors and don't use the texture color. I just want to use on colors, like here you see. And I want to use custom colors, like here, like this. We can select blue and work with them. The other part is if we go very close, we see the detail. This is not seeable in the video because of the denoising. So if I turn off, you can notice it a bit better. This is the micro mesh or micro texturing, you see? So the main texture would look like this. So I go over here, it will look like this. But with micro texture, it looks already like this. I can play with intensity. And if you have the most detailed part, it's overlay texture. It will give you some extras like wrinkles and all that stuff. So I think you see it better now. This is the main point of Simply material for fashion design. You can adjust the roughness. You can, depending on how you mix the main texture, play with the specular. So you can see like the roughness 0, so 0, and I want to make it goldish like, or blue color and goldish accent. I go to roughness, mix the color, yes, no, I can invert it directly here, and then you will notice where is the lights come from, like here. If I give more metallic, you'll notice it more. So very fast I can create. And if I don't like the pattern, just select a different one. Just select this one. Play with the scaling, and that's it. Play with the scaling of the overlay. That's it. Go to normals, edit the normals, make it much higher, make it low. Take off the micro normals. You don't have micro normals, only the texture a little bit. The overlay. So this is the main texture, very boring, but with normal, in a micro detail, you see this. Then the overlay, you see this. And this gives you a special feeling of the object. And of course, if you need alpha, just push the transparency full and just invert if needed. So now, depending on the ramp, of course, you can just invert what you need. So it really depends on. You see what you can do? It's a transparent now. If you, of course, use it. Now it's a little bit of transparent. It really depends on what you want. You can play with the blend mode and check out how it will fit to your project. Yeah. So, and the same we just create here. We create simply material and that's it. I like this. If not, I select a different one. Something like leatherish here. So we have created something like leatherish texture, play with the scaling, go over to the colors, select a different color one like this, turn it black or brown, go over to roughness, play with the specularity if needed. So I need to fix this, I think. so it will be easier. And I see the normals are in this case inverted. I don't like this. I go to normals and just easy invert the base normal with one click. We need to check it twice. The micro detail is annoying. I remove it and the overlay. Now it's to my needs. I check again the color and see, it's too black. In this case, I don't like this black. Make it like this. It's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. If the normal are too much in the base, I can turn off first and check again. So we can first see this part is correct, then a bit of normal and the global normal. I can slowly add it like this. Then go to roughness again. Oh, it's negative. So you see, if we don't mix the base texture, we have this. If we mix the base texture, we can create effects like this. So I think something like this will be okay. And then you have your ladder without much working in different software. So if you like the base color, but you need to adjust it, go to value, adjust it here, play with the saturation. So you don't need to change the colors. And here you go. And the same for stuff like that. So I don't know, I make it or not. So create simply material, there you go. You can select now something like this. And make a custom. Like I want to have it white. And a bit cyber stuff. Something like that. Play with the metallic. I don't need to mix something here. And roughness. Micro mesh. Really don't need this here. You just go here and hit these buttons. And here you go. If you want to have extra details, you go to extra details, extra shading. You can make tearing, like I will show you here. You have dirt, so we can play with the dirt intensity. You can make it dirty, if needed, of course. Play with the scale, give extra details here. Wearing dispersion, perhaps dispersion will be nice. I turn it on. And then you see like a dispersion effect. You can beat something like this will be interesting perhaps. Without global normal and width, so you can see through a bit, but I don't want this here. This is just the showcase of it. So if we go over to the pens again, and I show you now the tearing part, extra shading tearing, you activate it here. And tear intensity. So you have double point where you need to check it. So procedural settings, play with the scaling. If we go over here, you see like this tear, but you can play the tear details. You see, like holes, or you want to have detailed. Then the normal, which is not affecting that much here. Fiber intensity. So if I turn off, you will notice it's like here a gap. So let's see a different angle perhaps. There. We have like alpha here, but it's not working that much. But if you make intensity here or the scale, you can create very fast like tearing effect. If you go more here, you can see the fringal intensity. So you have like this or like this. And the distortion. This is too much. This is too low, but this is interesting sometimes. But if you distort it a bit, you can create very nice effects. And of course, you can paint already to it, but I will don't show you right now. And play, of course, play with the tearing color. So you can adjust it to your needs, like if you want to have a bluish or reddish here, just do it. It's all possible. This is simply material 4. We can add velvet effect if needed, and here you go. You make the effect of velvet here very fast. This is what simply materials make for. Let's go over to this part again, and now I will show you simply stitch, which is very nice. So what you can do with simply stitch is you have an object like this. So it's a bit high resolution. For a good reason, I applied the subdivision modifier. It's for, moment, I put all this other stuff here. I will show you it here. So simply stitch. Cape, then you just hit start, simply stitch. And what you can do now is just start drawing your stitches. You can make it with drawing, with lines, with all these tools here. So I just want to show you like as, yeah, then I take a line, play with the subdivisions if needed, make a dollar sign, and just create a stitch. And that's it. From here, we can work on these parts. So if I have an object like cloth object with boundings, we hit this button and it will create in all boundings sections these stitches. Depending on the resolution, you see, if we have a better resolution like this, it will make the stitches in this way. If we double it, we have better. And double again will be much more better by a detailed mesh like this. So we have created our stitches very fast. Then you can play with the offset. So this is enough for the most cases. Just hit bounding and offset 1 or 2. You can use the generated stitch like we have here, or the assets which are included here, simply stitches. You can select a different stitch like bold. If we go down here, we have stitches. This X stitch type is different stitch types created by Wolfgang, and you can use all them to just use custom object here, and then you select them. But we go with the base. We can play with the thickness, make it smaller like this. This is more natural. Then the distance. You need to be aware of it. So if the distance are too low, moment, the depth offset like this. Perhaps I make a mistake in a distance now, but this will be a bug fix perhaps. But no, there it is. It is not for the boundings. I am sorry. This is for this one. So you can play with this, play with the thickness, and make it to your needs. And the bounding distance should be different. Yes, I am sorry. I missed my own work here. So, and perhaps we need a bit more resolution and play with the depth offset a bit of here. But this will be not needed, because if you go to the deform, this thing gets interesting. You notice something. Without deform, with deform. And here we have the multi-res modifier, which we can use. If we hit once, we get more details. Now we can play with the intensity, yeah, and with the width. So sometimes It's good to use it with multi-res, but if you have more resolution, it will be slower with time. But for now, we work like this, with a bit of it, and we can play with the intensity of the deformation. We can smoothen out if needed, or without smoothing. So we have a bit of not nice shading here. So once is okay. Fixed bounds, you will notice here. It will fix the bounds and don't touch them during the deformation, you see? But if you see the note, it is affecting the bounds. So sometimes we don't need it, sometimes we need it. But here we have too much. We check it in this resolution, and then the intensity is just too much. So we go slowly. This is totally enough. And the next part is seams. So if you have an object like this and you want to have different seams here, we select here with Alt S, like this part here. No, it should be this one. And make a stitch or make a seam. And I will show you here. Make stitch. It will take a bit because of the multi-resolution. And I make here and here, like here, better, a seam. Then you notice it's red, but it's not affecting. This is because of the seam is not activated. So if we activate it, we can create these details. And this is very important for clothing. I will show you here. So this is very boring. Select this one, go over here, select perhaps this one, and select something around like this one. In the front too. So we have here, and there. Like one gap. And mark as seam. And you see how we improved it very fast by not deforming the mesh, not going in edit mode that much, and do some weird stuff to create some effects like this. So this is what I don't like. So I select this one from here to here and remove the seam. Very easy. The same here till here and remove the seam. Yes, now I destroyed like here. So it really depends on how you use it. Like this market seam. But you see how fast we are creating these seams. There is one I missed. Look at this, how nice. The next part is we have in the edit mode, if you turn on the boundings, yes, we have the possibility to split the object like here. We want to split it here and here. And now we have a seam and we want to split this. It will notice as a bound afterwards and create with an offset what we selected here. It creates the boundings stitches. Let's test it. You will notice here and there. So you don't need to do it twice. You see? And if I want to have a second bound like around here, or a stitch, split, I hit this button and that's it. And it is noticing as an bound here. So it is splitted in these areas. That's why you have this pattern. And now I want to have more details in patterns. What can I do? I just hit this button, draw again, go over to this section, select, for example, an arc, and make details like this. I hit E for extrude, and make something like that. This is now just for showcase. Hit enter, and again, the same. Perhaps I hit M for switching it. No, I make a pattern like this. And here. It's not perfect, but you see it's aligned to the object. we can make straight lines. I recommend to check the subdivisions. Sometimes it's too low. I do not recommend. Here I want to have it like this. If I go to orthographic view, I just click. Let's do something like that. E, E, E. Oh, it's not perfect, but don't worry. You see, it is smoothing out because of the subdivisions. 32. Perhaps I just make something like that. So you will see how great this actually is. So I'm just playing around. I don't have any concept here, and I just testing around here. So we have something like this. Hello, there it is. Sometimes you need to be aware of the view you have. You see how much gap it is created, and here. That's it. So just for fun, yeah. And here we make specialized design. Create stitch. And all together we get these results, what we can use as a high poly object and bake it to the normals, which is working great. And at the back, I want to draw something too. So we have the back side of it, the front side, what we can see through. But for now, I just want to make a very easy going way like this. It's not perfect, you see, because of the wrinkles, but it's only showcase. And here perhaps we want to draw something for simply and create the stitch. And you see how it works. So now we can adjust, of course, all the resolution, the distances, the thickness. You see, now it's slower because of the multi-resolution. So we can turn it off first and be faster by testing out these stitches and turn on again if we are ready. And the most interesting part, what I like, is the wrinkles. If I turn on, you see how it is affecting to the mesh. So without, just look here. Just look this, without and with. So you can play with intensity, of course. It's simulating like a bit of the noisiness by the stitches if you have a leather or something else. Sometimes it's too much. You need a low range, sometimes a lower scale or bigger scale. So it really depends on, but the intensity is the most important part here. I leave it like on 3 and just look what we created here. How nice this looks. I make it a bit more so you can see it better. Yeah, look at this. Of course, some of the wrinkles are gone because of the scaling perhaps, or of the intensity or the range. You need to play around. But if we make 50 scale, you see, look at this object without destroying it. Yeah. So I go again lower, and here we are. We have simply stitch. I hope you understand how this works now. Of course, we can show the object only, or show the stitches. This is how and how it is look like now. Yeah. And together you can apply it, finish the stitching, and only apply the stitch. So you have only the stitches if you need this and you don't want to destroy the base mesh, or you only want the deformated object, or you want the merged object from this both, like the object, the deformated object and the stitches. So this is the point. But let's leave it like this for the first. And the last add-on what we have here is Simply Fast, developed by Fargus Design, which is epic. It's epic because of if we're working on objects. So I push moment please, like let's finish this one. I totally missed to show you the embroidery setups I see. Oh. So if you have the stitches, sorry, I totally was fast. We have the embroideries, and this is a very nice part. I go to the biggest side here, or we can go to the front. This will be good here, this front. And we want to make patterns like this. I just drag and drop it to the scene. It will recognize this as an object. Then you see, if you selected a curve object like this, embroidery, it will notice and change the UI to Simply Stitch embroidery setup. And this is what you need to hit here. We hit it here, and now we can move it around this object till it's to our needs. I can make this. So you see the stretching, I don't want this. So let be like this. Something like this. Yes, this is okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. Perhaps we go over here. This is nice, I think. Let's do it here. So this is nice. I like it very much. And then stitch to surface. Very, very easy. Click and it will create this embroidery as an, you will notice, as a stitch. And look what details you can create. Just imagine what you can create by working with the objects here. And if you understand it, you will save so much time. Of course, you can draw it, you can make alpha textures and all that stuff. This is good too. But sometimes you are just here inside of Blender. Yeah, like this. You just inside of Blender. And it's faster to make it like here, the preparation, the main preparation, not the full texturing work. You just make it here and you have the base and the most stuff done here already. And just look at this, what you can create. Imagine what you can create, have it as a high poly object and export it. And then give your additional work, additional textures, use them and add them, and then you have a custom workflow and custom result. This is Simply Stitch. Now Simply Fast. So we apply this first, and again we apply this, merge, and OK. So it will apply all the all the stitches to one object. You see? And the part here is the curve objects of the embroideries are parented to it. So if you don't apply it and you move your cloth, the embroideries will not be offset. So it will be already all times to your object. Just imagine here. So wait, before we go to Simply Fast, we have this a nice object here. What we can do here, and what I recommend is to use the Simply Fast materials here. I totally missed it to show you. So if you're working with Eevee, you will be very fast. I will show you here now. Why? If you have an object like this, prepare it very nice, and you just want to have something like leather, you select it here. It's the first time shader compiling sub process. This is the first time. So you see, I really started from zero and show you all the waiting parts and what he need to compile backsides. It's nothing from here, but it's just changing to Eevee. Sorry, I need to pause it. It was like few seconds. So we have leather here, and we have leather bumpy and all that stuff. In this case, I think leather will be the best. I do not pre-compile it here. It was just a sub-process, but if I turn on, you will notice here, I don't have any materials. It's all from simply material, but not simply fast material. Yeah, this is very important to understand that we are not having pre-compiled these materials. And this is all because the sub-process is because of the simply material which we have in the scene is recompiling for Eevee. This is the compiling issue I totally missed. So he tried to compile the other objects there is in Eevee, but this is complex. I do not recommend it to use it inside of Eevee. The simply material fashion design add-on not to use in Eevee. It's a cycles performed product. So I turn it off, so it will not recompile anytime. And we have again base clothing here. Now, here you see we have the stitch material, base material, but we will fit it to all now. Or let's wait. We let it like this. So if you have simply stitch, and you go in the shader view, you can adjust it, but we don't need it. So let's start first with the simply fast materials. We have nothing pre-compiled here. We have the other materials, but they are not in the scene now. And just see how fast it is. I show you my system. What I have: GeForce RTX 3080 and processor, core 12 core processor by AMD Ryzen 9 5900X. So this is my setup. I think I have 16 or 32 gigs of RAM. I don't know. I really don't know. I totally forget this, but this is not important. You will see how the performance is. I just drag and drop here, 1, 2, 3, and here we go. We have a base procedural material, which is epic. Look at this. So we select a different scene here, and you see how this affects to the object. We can play with the color. We can make white leather. We can play with the structure. Yeah, the roughness, of course, a bit more structure, less roughness, more roughness, depending on what you need. But look at this result. Very fast, 3 seconds it takes to compile. 1, 2 seconds. Here we have 2 seconds. The same here, softness, roughness. So you have a leatherish object here, which is very nice. Or a leather for perforated for cars or stuff like this. Just play with the scaling. Look at this. Now you have a modern leather jacket, for example. You can adjust the dot scale, make it very small, the height of it. Just look at this. It was a few seconds. And crocodile leather, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, this is a complex one. But we have nice results. So really depends on what you need. We have different fabrics like Alcantara for cars and automotive. I have shown some videos. Look at this, how nice it is. I'll make it a bit brighter so you can see the difference. You see, if you have a king, he's wearing something like this or reddish one. You can give him these details. Look at this with the stitches, how it works, how it looks like, very nice. Fabric Alcantara, fabric Alpha Round. What is this, you think? Perhaps an issue. No, it was not an issue. play with the scaling, and then you have alpha cut out. All in Eevee, how fast, you see how fast it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. 5 seconds. The scale of the fabrics or the camo. Look at this. Play with the hue, make it like this, the saturation, and the dirt, the wear, if needed, roughness, the sheen. Look at this, very nice. Fabric, cloth, very basic material with a bit of scaling, and then here you go. Change the color, you can work with. And all the other stuff what we have, like rack dirty. It's needed for some reasons, of course. Denim, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like maximum 5 seconds. So you have denim here, sheen weight, roughness. So you have a jeans, denim, how it called, velvet. Like my favorite is similar to Alcantara, but I like this the most. Wool and paper and all that stuff, metal, paint. So if you have a metal material here, it does not make sense, but it looks great. It's like, I don't know, very nice materials, just very, very nice. So if you have a skin material, you want to have a base skin, here you go. It's a bit of yellowish, I think. So you can make an alien, you can make an human, make whatever you want. What is to your needs. So the cells, less cells, and the scale, of course. So you can use this. So for this, for example, I just want the human skin here. And it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. You can work with it. Really nice materials. More cells, less cells. And stone, wall, and wood. This is simply fast materials. So you see, we have all together. We could make a cloth which has micro meshes. It is simulating, use a concept for collision, make a wrapping around the body like you see here, and go over to render all the stuff what you created with the materials, make details with stitching, and let's select a different one like this, and we can use all this to get fast results. And this is what and why I created the fast and the simply materials, simply products and add-ons. This is the main reason to have a workflow which is custom designed, but it helps you to achieve results in Blender fast and easy. That's why the name Simply is created. And you see, you have good results. It's not like ultra high professional, but it's good. And it's enough for the most cases. And let's go over now, the last time I say it, to Simply Fast. Why Simply Fast? If I add a cube, for example, like this, and I start working with Simply Fast, we have here a collection of shortcuts and all that stuff, which is allowing you to be faster inside of Blender. You will notice it here. So if we start to make changes like this, and I want to have mirror modifier, I need to go over here, modifier, hit here, search, mirror, and edit. But in Simply Fast, you have this all kinds of stuff as a shortcut, or you rescale it like this, and I just apply here the size, location, rotation, scale. I can just hit one button and it's all done. Now I make a mirror modifier like this. Afterwards I go to rotate it perhaps. You see this? In different axes. And we can easily add here materials directly here without going over here and then create new. We make it all inside of this. We make an harden object. So we have this kind of object. I make a cut, for example, here, or an extrude. Select the needed parts like this. And just hit bevel or select sharp edges, or just set the weight if you need. Yes, so if we have a weight, you see this? We can select all this and make it like 25, 70, 100% bevels. And you will notice it here. You see? But if it's too low, because 100 we have here, we play with the amount here. So this should be the maximum size, but we want it in 25 or 0, or perhaps a bit lower as 0. Then we can create interesting materials and objects. So if we again go to our Simply Fast materials and make like something metallic, like metal aluminium, what we have else, metal gun, something what you can see very nice. Let's do it with the paint. Not inside of edit mode, just here. And a bit less roughness, more roughness, I don't know, like this, yeah. And play with the color. Leave it like this. It's okay. And you can just make the profiles. You see, you can do it all here. Profile, segments, fast edit. So what is fast edit? We can select this one and just shear it. You see, but I recommend it to use it like this. I go in front view, hit shear, something like this. We can shear it like here. You see, sometimes you need it. So we have a very fast workflow here. We can like bevel this part. So now I hit Control B and I cannot bevel it. I need to know the Control Shift B to bevel it, but not all understand it and know this. You can hit just bevel. It recognizes the vertex point and the edges and whatever. So like this, we can give him bevels. And if we see some shading issues, we can just fix them too. So what we have else? If we select this one, we can subdivide it very fast. Moment, like this. So it's not subdividing because of the mirror modifier. Don't worry about this. This is just a known workflow. But I just want to show you, it was because of the clipping here. Subdivide very fast, unsubdivide. Oh, and we make it broken because of the topology is not working anymore. We can, what I want to show you, if we have selected these parts and I want to make them straight again. So how we would do it? S, X, 0, enter. Yes, but you can do it like this. If you need this part straight again with this part in one, like this first, and then this, you see this workflow. So now we fix this again, hit X, and that's it. And then we notice here that, so we can click all the needed parts. And of course we can bridge if I turn on here. It's because of the mirror modifier clipping. I make something like this. Turn on clipping again. So this should be hardened too. So I just set weight. And from here, I just want to make a bridge to here, for example. You see, it's small stuff, but we sometimes not noticed about numbers of cuts, like this, profile factor, smoothness. Then I select these edges again to achieve the needed same bevel result and set the weight. And look at this, very fast. It's a bit twisted, but don't worry about this. So we have so much shortcuts which could help us to achieve very nice results. How we make this? Turn off this one. There it is. There are some issues. And again, if the shading is not correct, just set the weight. Set the weight like this. And of course, you can make different weights, like 100. Remember, this should be 100. This should be less. Yeah, that's very interesting. So with the weight, you can do it here in the slider. So you have the full control here. Hard shell is very interesting. First of all, let's make it like this. We subdivide it once. Now we can make fast close. Let's do it like this and hit space. And here you go. We have created very fast close. So you will notice the Simply Close Studio is not working here because it's fast close. If you make it simply close, it should understand it and we can use it. So make it like this, less of shrinking, the strength, less wrinkles, more wrinkles, less stiffness. Then you can work with this together. So it created like in this area and in this area. So I go again here. I want to make subdivisions here. This is now from Simply Close in Simply Fast. I want to have it like here. I make subdivisions and from here again fast close. Play and hit enter. And so you can make all of these parts. Yeah. So you have full control in any case. The point here is we have in Simply Close Pro, like the same point here. We can create cloth from selection to close in the designing stuff. So if we have something like this, we can create selection to close, but it's not that high resolution like here. So we can triangulate it, for example, and we go over to Simply Close from Simply Fast, and we'll see the topology is not that great. So it really depends on what you want and how you work and what you want to work. But you see, this is because of triangulated. We don't want to have any gravity. And of course, what I see, the face orientation should be okay. Yes, it is. And I remove. Hello. This is the mirror. Don't need it here. only this one, yes. So I can play with all that stuff. Stiffness. You can create very fast stuff. But this is the topology you see. This is not that good. So what we can do else, we can try different than topo triangulation, rotate faces, or unsubdivide. But I do not recommend it here. So we can make Koishiro triangulation. It works sometimes, sometimes not. But this is very bad topology. This is good. This one. Yeah. So if we turn on self collision, we can create very nice effects. And the intensity factor, like here. Just look what we can create and simulate. Less wrinkles, more wrinkles, you will notice it a little. And that's how cool it is. Yeah. So if the pressure is not working sometimes, you can inflate it again and double and check and test and make all your stuff what you want. You can smooth out the clothing if needed. You can do all with all these tools very fast. You can have an analyzer, how it looks like here, status, wireframe, face orientation. It's all combined. So some people need clothes, they got clothes. Some people's only modeling hard surface stuff, they use this. So for example, if I make something like that and select random edges like this and then hard shell from selection, we noticed a very interesting effect. What is this? So we can play with the solidify or the bevel here, very low, and afterwards we have the weighted normals, of course, but we can create from here again, harden objects and play with the amount. Check the auto smooth, shade flat, whatever, you have created very fast, interesting patterns. So Simply Fast is a very nice shortcut tool. You can apply modifiers all by one click. You can remove all modifiers if don't need. You can remove all materials which we have in the scene. Like, look how much we have. So just nuke materials, yes. And it remove full scene materials. We can use this object to, like we have a bunch of objects and we want to have this in a separated Blender file. You just hit this button, or you have selected objects like this and this and this should be in a separate Blender file. You just hit this button and here you go. And that's easy it is. And I hope I could show you the full size of the idea of the Simply products, which should help you to understand why they was created and how they affected your workflow. So this was all like one cut. I hit sometimes the pause button because of my private stuff here, but it was all live, all real, and it was not prepared to be to showcase some impossible objects or whatever. It was all how it is. It's all raw. These materials and objects was this, not this, this and this. I take it from the clothing pack, and thanks to Daniel, KAGI Vision 3D, I could just drag and drop it from asset browser and use it here. And this is the clothing pack. So for Simply Cloth Studio, we have the Simply cut and sewing pattern. So the cut and sewing pattern, what I created here, like, I hope I don't remove it. Oh, I remove it. Which you design directly is full of these objects, but with the cut and sewing pattern, like this part here, which is in this orientation, like, so it will sew together. It is like pre-created cut and sewing patterns which you should simulate. But the clothing pack is, you have finished clothing without stitches, And I'll show you here again how it look like. Clothing pack. And these are all the clothing pack what we have here. So you have here ready-made clothing, what you can work with directly. You see, you have nice topology, not too low, not too high, and resolution, and just start working. It's all up to you. I hope the video could help you to understand. And one notice I totally missed is Simply Stitch is not working for Blender 4.3 at the moment. So this moment where you see this video and it's Blender 4.2, it is working. For Blender 4.2 it is working. But not for Blender 4.3. So I need to make an update for Blender 4.3 for Simply Stitch. All the other add-ons are working fine in Blender 4.2. And these are extensions. Now you can just drag and drop the zip file you download and install the add-on. Very important, it's not working on custom patterns, it's only working on if you have extensions, repositories, only on the user default. So if you select drag and drop an object, an add-on, you put it here and select user default. It's a very important. If you select something different, it will not work. It will break some icons, it will break some blend files which is appending. It will not work properly. So you need to be aware of it. Just install it the regular way and you can work with. All the best and only the best. Bye.